Back, just make sure we're not live streaming. Mike. All right, I'll put my volume down a little bit, dude. We're cooking. It's gonna just record whatever's on my screen, so I can switch to whoever's screen. And I'm gonna throw on Henry's stream for right now. Everyone
Yeah.
want to go around and introduce themselves real quick. This is the Nexus Network. Thank you for tuning in. Wherever you see this, YouTube or possibly the Nexus Network website that we vibe together. We are a group of AI enthusiasts just vibing our community together. We're about 60 or 70 deep, but there's about a dozen or so of us that frequent the voice channels and actively building the channels are active with people who don't jump on voice, but this just kind of gives an idea. This is unscripted. We just have everybody impromptu. We're going to go around, introduce ourselves, say where in the world we're from, kind of a little bit about what we're building, and then we're just going to vibe like we're not recording. Use this however. We'll go along the left, and I'll bring up your screen. Buddha, you go first. You're on my screen. Tell them about yourself.
Hello, world. My name is Billy Coleman III, professionally known as Buddha. I'm from Benton Harbor, Michigan. I am an audio engineer that accidentally became a software engineer. I like to coin that multimedia technologist. And yeah, over the past few years, I've really got a good relationship with AI and all these automation agents, all the cool buzzwords that mean, oh, I can make solutions on the internet. And that's what I'll be on at large.
Super dope, man. It's 2026 at the time of recording. What do you hope to see out of AI in the next couple of years?
In the next couple of years, I hope to see a sort of internet that emerges that just like gives democracy to the individual that's using it in terms of just the value of all of the data that we can, that we put out, not even consume, but yeah.
Super dope, super dope. We got John G22 up next.
Yo, it's John G from Cincinnati, Ohio. Started in music uh, 14 years ago, and as a hip hop artist and MC, I found that artists needed to fill in a lot of gaps around their art if their art was going to become their career, their life, what they got to do for their day to day. So, I started building websites when I was 12, and I kind of let that go wayside and just focused on art. When I discovered the Nexus Network through Alex Cologne, I really got to take my AI journey from streamlining learning faster to actually being able to get time back for myself and for creatives and business owners that I support and help manage. So for me, I love your question about where I want to see AI. It makes me think of what Alex Hormozy said in a recent podcast or interview I watched him do. He said, AI is never going to be worse than it is right now. So if this is AI at our worst, what I want to see is kind of similar to what Buddha said. I really want to see these tools in the hands of the public in a way that growth becomes accessible, that getting your time back and getting those human hours back to be with family and be with friends and do the things you love, it can happen because AI is going to get better and we're going to get better at sharing it with each other in the world.
Super, super dope. We'll keep going down the line. Henry, I know your camera's
Damn,
not
man.
on, but
Yeah, I don't know if I could top that, but damn. I'm
yeah, man, that's
Henry.
a success story and a
Yeah,
half,
god
man.
damn, I'm
Like,
inspired.
and I
I don't know
saw
what
it
to
from day
do.
one, man. Big shout out to Alex, who's not, he
All
might
I
pop
want to
in. I'm
do.
sure anyone that sees seven of us in here will want to know what's going on. But yeah, man, go ahead. Give it your best shot, Henry. You're a valuable member, power user of the Nexus Network. Just give a testimonial on the network if you want.
No, I got you. My name's Henry. I'm a tech guy by heart, tech guy by trade. I've been working on computers for a while. Since I was 5 years old when Google came out. My first computers. I've been tearing them apart, putting them together. I got too complacent with tech. I got a little bit bored, and then AI came out, which sparked my interest again. I talked to Alex here and there because I've seen him post on Facebook regarding AI. He hooked me up with the Nexus Network. They quickly got me up to speed in terms of like, the good, the bad, the tips and the tricks. I kind of just ran with it, and as a just like a kid in a candy store, hey, what's this? Hey, what's that? Hey, what's this? And I just quickly from there just got comfortable, and I'm back in my flow of just being a kid trying to build shit, man. Either trying to give something back to the world because tech helped me throughout my life, so I'm just trying to help out where I can. If there's a profit, I wouldn't mind that, but that's everyone. So
Yeah, man, it's exciting to see where the world's going to lead in terms of the profit and stuff. But your background in cybersecurity and everything like that, it's definitely super dope. Um,
no, yeah, man. Securing computers as a kid, with my parents helping them out with LimeWire and viruses to, now my day-to-day job is just securing one computer at a time from the bad guys. So, I'm slowly just trying to incorporate AI into my daily life to improve what I know, create new stuff, and just yeah, just use tech the way it should be.
super super dope. And that leaves Barry. We'll throw him back. Uh, with a brief introduction, what you're working on, what you want to see out of AI.
It's all good. I mean, I hope it's not choppy. Everybody was talking that was choppy every other word. So I'm in the car on the way back to the house. So I hope I'm not choppy.
You
But
sound good.
man, cool, cool, cool. Yep. Barry, man, I have a background in really education. I started in education, and then I ventured in tech because I seen an 8-year-old build a Pac-Man game out of Minecraft, and it had 5 vertical levels. Like the ghost can go up and down. It was power ups on the walls and
Oh
shit.
wow.
I was just like, what the fuck? And he was 8, right? I was a program director at Code Wiz. It was in Atlanta or Lawrenceville, Georgia, and yeah, and I seen this kid, and I used to hire computer science majors to teach Minecraft and Roblox coding to children, but I didn't know shit. I didn't know shit. This was in 2022. So after that, I'm like, fuck it. Let me just kind of learn some shit. I ended up getting my security plus. Then just finished up a contract, IT contract in Virginia. Then I moved back to the Bay. So I'm in California now. Again, I'm originally from the Bay. Um, and now I'm building agents. I'm trying to build the bridge of esports and parents through agents. So, like I was just telling Tony, I created this platform, or is creating this platform where parents and
I'll pick up real quick until he comes back. He was telling me about essentially the cyber schools. We'll call them cyber schools. They're taught by an AI curriculum, and the kids participate in esports, similar to how you would have a football team. So his agents are
right, my
bridging
bad,
the
I just got
gap.
off the
Oh,
phone.
you're back. Yeah, tell them about how the agents bridge the gap between the parental knowledge.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, so basically the problem that it's solving that parents don't know about gaming at all. So they don't know that you just can't get off of games nowadays. They don't know like how online games can't be paused and stuff like that. So to the kid, it's like, all right, my parent doesn't know, and to the parent, it's like, all right, this is like a waste of time. So what the program would do is give them a task list for the day. It would go through business acumen, holistic healing, and if they're doing tech or streaming, whatnot, and to get to that point of playing the game or the esports badge for the day. So they have to do all of that to, basically play the game. And once you like play the game, you get like actual tasks to do. So say if you're playing like Rocket League, you practice on like turning or whatnot like that. Or if you're playing Call of Duty, you're practicing like circle rotations or something like that. So the parent can see what the kid is actually doing on the game, and they can see a stopping point or a pause point to where the kid can actually get off because they know what task that they completed while they were on the game. So it's kind of solving the problem of the parents not knowing what's going on, and then the kids not giving enough information of what's actually going on when they're playing the game.
Wow.
So
Uh,
that's called Soulful Sushi. I'm trying to do like a demo. I'm not trying to. I'm doing a demo version. I'm so mad they took Fable off the market. So crazy because I was using Fable in Hicksfield. I was going to do like the demo version of the game. So I'm just using Opus right now. I'm trying to do what I can, but
Yeah, they
But yeah,
gave
that's where
they
I'm at.
gave the
You got
public a
that taste of
taste of that.
Fable. I haven't touched it yet. I can only
No,
imagine.
I missed
Oh
the
my
boat.
god, bruh. Oh
Henry
my
was
god, the
talking
demo.
about that.
Oh my lord, bro. They did me so dirty. They cut the water off right when I was doing. I got all the assets done, and then I was about to do the run through of the whole demo, and then I'm like, it just stopped working. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I looked on. I instantly put Claude Fable, and I went to their website, and then I seen that message. I'm like, what the fuck? That shit is
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
crazy.
a few hours late, which is an eternity in AI times. But we were just talking with Henry about that. He's like, you should, because I'm building an agent that I eventually hope to move locally that helps me and has helped me run my agency. And he's like, yeah, you should just do the implementation plan in Fable, then drop to something else. So that could be kind of a topic we bring up, especially as we move into this token economy. So I just want to do a quick for our listeners that are listening in that are curious in the Nexus network that are, I don't want to say like intimidated by AI. Fable 5 was a ultimate model. We talk about different models that can do different things and they use up tokens, and Fable was doing intense things like building games, one-shotting websites and apps, just doing all of the thinking and decision making and putting things together. And we got about 3 days of public use, and now the government wants to regulate it. So it's true that a ton of power can be moved in building your own tools or getting off of having to subscribe to a corporate software in order to work or make money. So that's a interesting conversation. I was gonna one shot my agent, but we'll wait. I myself have been curious, like I was thinking about throwing all this footage that I shot over the weekend and seeing if Remotion can cut something up, because I'm seeing now like it can do coloring and stuff. And so I was curious to look into that. I might dig into some Remotion later, maybe even on the stream, show you guys what I've been building. But how are you guys like thinking about token usage versus 6 months ago or a year ago when you could just build anything for like $15?
I think it's a double-edged sword because I feel like with again I always keep using the same key phrases like guardrails and routing and logic. But the thing is, if you filter and distill your stuff enough, it shouldn't impact you as much because, for example, I have so much things filtered and routed that the token usage has been average for me because it hasn't expanded or scaled out of control because it's always grounded in the responses and actions that I want it to do. So if anything, I have this is the first time I've ever hit my limit in weeks because I let it run a goal overnight for like 7 hours, nonstop. But I've never honestly hit my max with again, I use $100 codex plan, but I use everything effectively. For example, I'll use Perplexity to gather all my sources because Perplexity has a student discount for $20 a month, and just so much data gathering. And then for Claude, when Fable hit, I knew I wanted to save money, so I did the $20 plan and I max it. The first thing I ever think about when new tools like that come out with high reasoning is how can I improve myself really quickly. So the first thing I did was I had it refactor my entire architecture, and it optimized it so well that it generated like I don't even know 40 pages plus like sources. It was really deep and crazy. So that was like the first thing I did. And again, it was $20. I was using it twice a day. It was maxed out. Use it again the next day. So like I was hitting Fable for $20 for a few days, just refactoring, gathering all the data I needed before I tried jumping into like slop or trying to make one shotting an app. It's always production first, and then well, like production in terms of like improving your architecture, improving something for you of value,
Yeah, the
and then
skeleton.
you exact skeleton, the bare bones, the foundations, and then you look into like okay, your accessories, your add-ons. What else can you like one shot and things like that. You have to min max what you have because again, token is valuable, right? So whenever there's a reset, try to max it out real quick because it resets Monday or something. It's just
Yeah, I saw
it's
they're
like not that
giving
it's a video
resets
game.
now.
Yeah, yeah,
No, it feels
reset
like
like right now,
Farmville in
Claude
real
reset.
life.
Yeah,
It does.
it is
The last
Farmville.
time I remember managing timers, and I actually set a timer for when my codex usage. I was in the middle of a project. I'm like, well, I'll play a video game for an hour and come back. Just set a timer, but it's interesting. It does make you think about what you do with your workflow. I don't know, Buddha. What do you think?
Yeah.
I've actually just been thinking about just okay, for the fact of the matter, Fable and things of that nature to that scale, touching public hands. Um, there's been an inversion point, I think, that's happened over the last few weeks, and I haven't investigated it. I don't necessarily have the apparatus to effectively investigate, but what I'm getting at is there's like Jamma 4, there's DeepSeek V4 Flash. Um, these are kind of models that are hitting like reliable frontier level just capability and being able to run on it's quote unquote regular hardware. So that's kind of where I'm thinking like, has anybody been dabbling offline and has like reached that point where they can where they're having an experience that's at least close to what you can get out of not necessarily Fable, but like something like Opus, et cetera, so on. Has anybody been diving off into that space? That's what I'm thinking about. If you
I
were to
think
ask me what's
so.
on my mind.
I
That's
think
actually a
so.
big part of why I came here today after not having really had the mental capacity to be as present in the Nexus Network as I was in my first 3 months. But I came here today hoping to hear from you guys because I consider each and every one of you in this chat brilliant and experts in the arena of AI. And I know that you guys know of levels of AI that you're still working yourselves towards in this realm. But I have finally gotten to the point of having Claude Desktop set up with the right connectors using MCP tools and in our last conversation, it was like John create a harness, look up how to make a harness. And I had Claude make 7 documents, markdown documents, and it was trying to read through these documents where it was telling, who to email, who to Slack, where the drives existed, which clients are working on which goals. So I've got Claude basically reading Slack after we have meetings, and it takes
Hmm.
those conversations and it uses project management framework that it's framed it as it's my project management officer. So it's using PMI, Project Management Institute standards, to manage projects. So it's reading these things, it's using, and then it's taking standards and it's using those standards to create work management systems inside of ClickUp. So previously, a
Yeah.
project manager would maybe have a conversation, they would take notes, and then they would have to
Hmm.
go back, strategize on it, put it into work management, take that work management, visualize that work management so that they could use the visualizations to go back and
And
guide people
gather
through
all the
work.
files from the emails and things necessary to get the project done. Those might live in the drive, they might live in an email. I mean, heck, some people text me things. That's super dope, man.
So
Anybody
I've,
else
I'm
use? Oh, sorry. Go ahead,
convinced
John.
people. I'll just finish real quick. I've convinced people to live and die in Slack so that Claude could pull from that accurately. But like you said, model usage is one thing. Token usage is another thing. I haven't even been able to use the $100 a month to its capacity because I'm still struggling to have things automated in a right way. There's a lot. It's a lot like I've created a 6-figure employee for $100 a month,
Hmm.
but I'm only using him for about $10,000 worth of work when I could be using him for $100,000 worth of work, and guiding a team of dev agents to be building that platform that I didn't mention, the Beyond the Stage Universe web app where business owners and artists can position themselves effectively, collaborate effectively, learn gaps in project management and marketing and media. They can learn on this platform and take that knowledge and apply it together. I'm not finished building and testing and securing this platform, and I haven't gotten to the point of being able to automate my PMO to lead a team of devs that are communicating that if that makes sense. So there's still like these layers. All I've effectively done is got Claude to stop trying to read 7 markdown documents, skimming and missing things, and I've gotten Claude to start using a plugin where it has skills, and these skills are triggering tool calls. So it's going into things specifically rather than having to read and use, fucking a third of its context just to figure out where to start.
Yeah. Meta prompting is going to be huge for people to
Meta
kind of,
prompting.
yeah, like how you, like that's what you're explaining, like where you kind of have one agent prepare something to send to another one, and
Yes.
how that hierarchy goes. That was super crucial before we got to agents. Meta prompting was super popular when, like, using a generative AI, people would use Chat GPT, say, put in the bare gist of what they want, but have it build it out and say what camera lenses to use, or take an image and reverse engineer it and put that prompt into it. But yeah, that term's called meta prompting, taking one prompt to put into something else. Anybody else using well, go ahead if you have anything else, John. I wanted to pass to anybody else, give Barry a chance to talk,
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah,
see
yeah.
who's used
I,
agents in there, like who's built an employee, because
you
not a
got
lot of people are doing that.
so I actually asked a question in my response to
Oh,
your question, Tony. And so I was only just to keep it brief, I was just only wondering if anybody's been like dabbling offline enough to dabble offline reliably over the past few weeks.
oh, right.
But I mean, yeah, that's that though.
Well,
So
no, I
I just
wanted
wanted to make
to.
sure
I'm
y'all
glad
knew
you
that's
brought
why
that
I asked.
back. I'm glad you brought that
It,
back,
it,
Buddha. Sorry to
thank
cut you
you.
off, because the thing that I wanted to bring up is everybody that's running models and talk, or not models, but like not agentic models, but literally like the way we used to talk it, plotting data. Like they're modeling out how the bubble's going to go and what we're going to see from here. And they're talking about the players that are going to last and what's going. And I don't hear anybody mentioning DeepSeek. And I'm like, in a world where we're making token usage almost a commodity, where I think it's going to be like filling your gas tank. You have to fill your computer with tokens, and dev is going to be revalued based off token usage. That's what Henry and I were talking about beforehand. Why wouldn't we think that something with cheap compute could, like, are they just going to say we can? How are they going to
Because
keep
I've
how are they going
seen
to keep that
charts and I'm
model
like,
away from
wait,
us?
I'm like, with the proper harnesses and stuff like that, I've seen charts to where like stuff like Gemma, if you wanted to diversify, s- like these are the ones that I saw that like are on paper hitting a mark that for me in practicality, oh, if I had my system and I loaded in, oh, are we at that inversion point where it's like I'm only at that point like I'm already not scratching the surface when it comes to 100 a month here at Claude or OpenAI or even 200 months for that matter. But what I'm getting
Mm-hmm.
at is like having your operation like heavily dependent on that cloud usage versus like like I'm my offline system is so reliable now that like I only quote unquote outsource to the Frontier Labs for the like super complicated stuff that I want to do
Yeah,
that just my offline system doesn't do. And I want to say 6 months ago, we briefly here and there had this kind of conversation in terms of this checkpoint that I'm even bringing back up, because the advent of the whole claw thing. Here we are now, where we are. But
yeah,
that's why I'm bringing it back up because I'm like, oh, last time it was like I'm just put it this way, just to make it layman's translatable. Last time we were like, oh, okay, we got stuff that can run locally, but like you still need too much gadgets to make it reliable. But I'm seeing
yeah.
now, oh, we got this reliable output that's like up there with the big models, and it's running on like my laptop. So I'm like, oh snap. Henry, you have something to say?
No, no, I agree. I feel like it's a mixture of a bit of everything that everyone's been gathering. It's a, you know how everything went by stages, right? It was the whole persistent memory, the whole looping, the whole agents, the whole overnight stuff. So if you combine it enough where you have your own harness that includes all that stuff, you should be able to make most models output similar results consecutively if you have it repeatable in your harness. So for example, people are now just starting to catch on where, oh, you just need a shared brain. You just need, all agents can use a shared brain. And it's like, yeah, that's how it's supposed to be, right? You want your models to all act the same way in terms of responses and actions you like. The only thing you just want them to have now are just maybe specialized skills. So
Yeah,
Right.
these
if
are just
you
our protocols.
Yeah, exactly. So if you have the correct protocols, guardrails, and harness engineering and architecture in place, you should be able to make any agent act the same way. So for example, right, I hit my limit with Codex. I was just gonna pop in Claude, and it's like I never left Codex because technically everything is still there. I have guardrails in place to make Claude have responses similar to Codex because I like it straight to the point, no fluff, etc., etc. But it's also routed through scripts, right? Because sometimes the default harness from frontier models sometimes try to override your local harness. So you would need
Yeah.
to have additional safety measures throughout your actions where it keeps grounding it so it doesn't waste those tokens, so it doesn't hallucinate into a different pivot or something like that. So, and again, I haven't tested a local model yet because I don't think I need to right now. I'm not at the point where I see them all doing the same thing. Like you said, so many good models are coming out lately every month. Kimi Code or Hermes, all this stuff is coming out. I'm waiting to the point where they're all repeating, and now I'm like, okay, now I can start switching over to local models because now they're practically on par with frontier models. But now I can keep $20 subscriptions where I just want to one shot a couple things here and there, and just use my local models to finish off the rest and save so much money.
Yeah, and to cap my segment here, I kind of want to just say that um, I feel like just at large, it's the confidence meter is high in terms of like, hey, start dabbling in what you can do on your own computer. Just because like, oh, and then from what you just said, okay, that tells me maybe because I use you as a benchmark actually, Henry, in terms of like where you're at with your apparatus and how you delegate between the cloud and the local system, et cetera, so on. So I sad to say, because you just described it that way, I would say at large, it's not. It wouldn't be a reach to start thinking what can I do like on my laptop or on my tower at home. Like what can I do in terms of my autonomy? Just because like
Oh
yeah. Nah, I'm
no,
done. But yeah, like
no,
people should
I
start
agree.
exploring that. People should start exploring that. That's really all I'm
There's
saying.
Let me cut in real
It,
quick,
it's,
Henry.
it's not a fringe. It's not a
Yeah,
fringe anymore like it was
yeah,
6 months
yeah.
ago.
I agree.
So people know I kind of push different workstations and workflows. I have a pair of what are they, X-Real glasses where I could project a screen. I have all these screens showing on my video, only two of them, but there's another one here and one here. And there's times where I'll have a remote session full screened on one, codecs running. So I am finding ways to, what is it, like in electricity, if you have two, it spreads out the draw, and so like
Hmm.
that's why you have 8 port prongs and 12 port prongs. I'm trying to do that with my computers, and then via SSH I have another tower. It's old but it has 64 gigs of RAM, so why shouldn't I be offloading stuff to that RAM as well? And I think that workstations in the
Really,
future are going to look like mine, and you'll be literally remoted in to compute somewhere else. I think that it's going to get too expensive to
I
have
agree.
one of these, and that's going to be okay, maybe I just lease a tower. Maybe people
Hmm.
don't own these, and then people like us are ancient that we have our own record player or home studio. I mean, this is going to live on the internet when whatever that happens. So it's pretty crazy. The time is in the bottom. It is June 14th, 2026. So we're about 3 years into this.
Oh,
At four, yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah. Go.
it's I was gonna say it's important to note too. We actually made a prediction. I want to say maybe about 3 months ago in terms of when the faucet would turn off, so to speak. When this token economy would kind of go into effect, and we caught it for being like June. So thank you
Yeah,
for like documenting the time right now because like when June happened, what happened?
yeah.
No, y'all did. I remember.
We're like,
I,
where the water at?
That's
I
crazy.
remember that it was around the time Alex had, or was it a little bit? Yeah, because I remember, I don't know, but it was probably a little bit before that. I just remember I wasn't even in here. I remember y'all was like, I give it to like June. I remember that
Yep.
shit, and y'all hit that right on the nail, nail on the head for sure.
Nah, yeah,
Um,
I agree.
then like local models where like I kind of been dabbling in them because of like I remember when Claude did that bullshit over like a week, and then they had to give everybody their money back and say they made their models dumber or some shit on accident or some shit they did. But I think it was just a ploy because that's when the $100 plan came out. Like I think it was just a
Yeah.
ploy to get everybody to get the $100 plan. And I was like, I see they kind of they shit now, and I was already using like open code and like I was using Kimmy K what 2.5, then 2.6, now 2.7 just came out. So I've already kind of been like doing that. Got Gemma locally, and I use it like for my agents to talk to each other like locally, and then I got it on my VPS like just so I don't have to pay for shit, but. I kind of been seeing this shit going on, and it's like, man, when they did that shit with Fable, I'm like, that's fucking crazy. But I'm about to look into like other shit, like Google AI Studio, Blender, and all the other shit.
No, yeah. I mean, again, in my head, I always see that they release the craziest models 2 times rate for the weekend, blah blah blah, and then they pull the plug. Like, all right, well, you gotta pay now. They're gonna get
For
hooked
sure.
on it, and then they're gonna want to use it. I knew I don't know. I knew that I wanted to first do something important, so that was the first thing I did, and I feel like it was a good move. In terms of the local model stuff. So when I first figured out about I didn't want to waste money and pay the frontier models and experiment. So what I did was I was learning with local models first. That was like late 2025, maybe fall 2025. I was downloading like GPT OSS. I was downloading DeepSeek. I was downloading coin models just to test
Yeah.
out, right? Why pay $100, $20 a month and waste learning it on the web too. It was web too. It wasn't even controlling my computer at that time. It wasn't really doing much. I didn't know about Claude Code, Codex. So I was like, let me just test the local models first. And
Yeah.
that's when I went down that rabbit hole of just figuring out, figuring out my computer again, right? Using AI to control my computer. Bet, let me try to do what I can. But I hit the limit because the models weren't up to par yet. I was able to have them all talk to each other. I was doing harness engineering before it was a thing. I was figuring out agent orchestrations. I was using Llama routing my work because I was like, they need like
Yeah.
policies and procedures just like cybersecurity. So I built that. Like I figured that shit on my own. It's trying to make it work like how I wanted to. And it's weird that something I was just exploring like a kid is just like that's what they're doing now and making it better.
Yeah, man. I was gonna try to keep some of our non-AI listeners up to date, but we've just been cooking. So if you are this far and you're interested, we are still beginner friendly in the Nexus Network. I just wanted to bring you guys up. Alex is literally with a client right now. I haven't heard back from Josh, but I wanted to get some of other prominent members in here. I'm trying to think who
I
else
have a
might.
real viewer friendly question, if I can.
What? A newbie
A
friendly?
slightly more viewer friendly
Yeah,
question,
yeah.
because those were some really technical answers. And I know that there's obviously going to be devs watching, but if we release this, and I have content and assets to share from these conversations too, I'm going to be releasing it to a lot of people who are either anti-tech, which is fine. Those people can fuck off. I'm going to be releasing it to a lot of people who are using AI at the chat level. And we're talking about using AI not only beyond the chat level, but at the, having
Yeah,
agents
agent
within,
scaffold level.
right, agent scaffold level. And then we've even taken it down from agent scaffolding on a local device.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this is such a broad, like it's so broad and there's so much. And meanwhile, I'm a person, and a lot of the people that will watch this are people who will be working full-time jobs. How do you effectively manage time to go between creating and scaffolding your own stuff with something that you're comfortable with, and actually breaking away from that to learn about these other tools, like to go from I use chat to I use agents to I know how to use locally? where
No,
where's the where's the
there's
pipe?
there will be way more people. I'll give my answer, and everybody can answer your question. Um, we For me personally, I didn't get much to speak about Sonic. I built an agent that monitors all my messages and has a logic to infer whether or not somebody's trying to hire me, because I get 30 to 50 messages an hour, a lot my in peak hours, but I get orders at after midnight Eastern Standard Time. I can't manage it all, so I have a network through Slack, and it took me not only a ton of token usage to build out with Buddha's help, like that would cost a lot to scaffold an open claw, and then you can get a Hermes or you can get something. So I would say if I were to predict, I think we're maybe 6 to 8 months out till there's active people, like a job description is setting up agents for people, setting up specialized one, and that's going to get into like I specialize in making agents for nail salon spas that practice Eastern techniques or something. Like you're going to almost have somebody build the solution. I don't think there's a gap between people because look, even without AI, anybody can learn Canva, people don't. Anybody can learn, like tools that have been around, but they still pay other people to do it. What you're seeing with AI is people think that it's instant. And to be honest, it was pretty crazy about a year ago. It has slowed down. Like to Alex Hormozzi's point, yes, AI is the worst it's ever going to be, but I don't think we're being realistic if we talk about a future where it might be a luxury service. $100 a month is not cheap. That'd be the highest subscription of any Netflix, anything for entertainment you pay. Probably more than your fitness, your gym, unless you're doing something specialized. $100 a month is a new utility. That's not going to be for everyone. Thoughts, guys?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have that $100 a month for Claude Max if it wasn't for having a small business where my business partner allocates that for me, and I'm able to use that across my portfolio managing business that manages all other businesses. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to individually do it.
So maybe
I mean,
everybody paying for the compute right now is building agents and stuff because I'm on the 30 a
yes.
month plan and I can build 2, 3 websites, maybe one large website a month. So if that can't pay your $30 a month subscription, I think the luxury time of people just building for fun. I have a podcast with Renee Tertius maybe a year and a half ago at this point, and he talked about Replit. He got me into vibe coding. Like it's on document. I wish we would have documented you, John, coming into it. And I want to hear the take from Josh. If you're listening, can you hop in? We've been recording for a little bit and everybody got a chance to introduce themselves. So if you want to answer the question, and I don't know if you're here just to listen, but I'll throw the mic on you real quick.
Yeah, I was actually just doing some things in my kitchen, and I had you guys. Um, I see that you guys were on, so I figured I'd go ahead and jump in here. Yeah, my name is Joshua. I'm just Josh here. Um, Not really too much to know about me. I guess I'm a computer nerd, but besides that, I'm not. What exactly was the question you were talking about? As far as I heard you guys talking about AI agentic systems and setting them up
We were
for
talking about the gap between the
use.
average business owner essentially having an agent. Like, when do people start getting comfortable talking to their computers, or do we wait for an open box out of the source? And my take was that we're kind of past the free tokens to just build whatever and learn the stuff. There's going to be a significant cost to playing around with this stuff. What's your thoughts, Josh?
Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely agree. As a matter of fact, I mean, they've been talking about turning the faucet off for a while. Essentially, whatever it is that we're paying in AI credits right now is being subsidized. I mean, we're not paying true cost. As a matter of fact, I seen something the other day, and this is when you were just talking about that, I actually had tabbed over and I was looking to see if I could find it again, but there was an article that I read, and it was essentially saying like even if all of the advertising money in the world were to go
Yep.
to AI companies, it wouldn't even cover the cost
Right.
of what's currently being used as far as AI usage. So I mean, if you took all the media advertising, Super Bowl ad, every single advertisement, catalog, magazine,
Mm-hmm.
TV, air, radio, put it together as far as how much is being spent, even if they were to get all of that market share, it still wouldn't even scratch the surface. They had put another couple of industries in there as well too,
So
which really
you
makes you think that like the way that they're trying to go is
military
this
or
is
something, or
yeah, this
like
this is really technology that is not in the past. We've always gotten technology as it's been released to the public. I think this is the first time, and yes, I know that there's been probably other LLMs that the government has been using for the past 10 years or so, probably, but as it's not as good as what they're using now, or else they wouldn't have Claude or OpenAI as government contractors and using that. They'd be using their own because it'd be more refined. So that tells you that we have technology or access to technology at the same time that kind of everybody in the world has it. So that really, it's really not for the masses, but the masses don't realize really its potential. So it's not being utilized. Kind of like nobody knew what an email address was back at the early start of of the internet. Nobody was buying up domains because people didn't understand virtual parking
A
spots.
whole nother world. Yeah, a whole nother world. But to your point, people after the .com boom, there was a ton of like people were buying fiber wire and pretty much
Mm-hmm.
networking up everywhere, and then all that stuff was
Right.
left underground. So we have your Netflix, your Spotify, like streaming was born after the advent of the technology from the internet. And I think to your point about how much it costs for a power user, I've heard that $100 a month user costs about 2,000 a year. So they are like 10, 20x in the loss. And it brings up a good point. Who's going to pay for it eventually? Or does it just become a military defense type thing? Does AI get outlawed for guys like us? Do we get our computers confiscated? It could really go like
Right.
any way once the government starts regulating it or once they see the sort of power. Who knows what people built with Fable 5 in 3 days?
Well, one thing I do want to mention real quick is that I don't think we have too much to fear is what they're being as far as like having no access in the future, because with the open weights and models that are already out there right now are sufficient enough to actually be refined and be just redistilled and this and that and everything
For
else.
sure. I
So with
like it.
those being out there, they'll never be gone. And as you notice, China has had to do less with more due to their technology and not having access to the same chips as us. Um, Essentially getting them from Taiwan. That's why you'll notice Taiwan is kind of a little thing that keeps popping up here and there because they're very important to the chip manufacturing race.
For
But
sure.
they don't have access to that in China. So they've had to make their LLM models with less hardware. So less performing hardware, less sophisticated technology. They've had to do more with less technology, which
They've
you'll
also
find,
had to race against us. I just want to add to your point,
and
but continue.
they're
Like,
keeping up.
yeah, they had to put something out.
Mhm. So what you'll find is when you don't have access to resources, that's when the creativity comes out, and it's like, well, what's another way around it? I think, and I don't know. There's probably some very foundational thing that we just overlooked that's 4x in or 10x in the cost of this compute because things should be scaled back before we go bigger. We keep going bigger and bigger and bigger, but we need to refine the process, get it cheaper, and then expand out. We kept expanding out at max cost and kept, making bigger and bigger and bigger and better and more expensive instead of saying, okay, we've got this running. How can we optimize it, make it more efficient? What are we doing wrong instead of what are we doing right?
Well, here in
That's
Cincinnati,
fire.
there's a lot of hate on AI specifically because there's a lot of if you will, social justice warriors right here in the Midwest, which is great. I think activism is critical. I think that social awareness is critical. Environmental impact is critical. But people have become so focused on it that they're really just looking at where the cost is being allocated. They're seeing it in
Mhm.
electrical bills, but
Mhm.
where else is it going to get allocated? Do we think
Right.
like how is that even going to
I got one
affect?
for you. Neuro. What is it?
Neuralink.
China, yeah, well, China
Mm.
did a Neuralink, but they did a less invasive. When I was out in
Yeah.
South by Southwest earlier, they were talking about this technology. Um, Essentially, instead of driving like spikes into your brain like Neuralink, I don't know the
Yeah.
science behind it, but
EKGs.
they put it, yeah, on your skull, on the inside of your
Mm.
skull, and can read brainwaves. Now you can get less than Neuralink can get from what I understand, but people are very worried about the privatization of mental health data. Somebody like me, an advocate for mental health, hell, I wear a smartwatch just to know what's going on with my sleep and stuff. Like if there was a non-invasive helmet, I could like unload my day. I might be pretty interested in it. But
Right.
the idea of every company goes through a cycle. They start off, they get evaluation, and eventually, when the profits dry up and the capitalists want their money, they start selling customer data, or they sell the company and the company sells all the customer data. So it's like we still have the lock on biometrics. Google has a lot of data on biometrics that people don't think about with fingerprint recognition and stuff like that, but they can't really get into your brain without looking. The second this Neuralink stuff has its chat GPT moment or has some sort of commercial use, and it needs to be funded by some sort of model, maybe it just becomes whatever industry, military, healthcare. Like it's not the consumer. Does that make sense? Like it's not the masses needing access to deep research. And then maybe it turns into something where instead of selling advertisement, like sure that subsidizes some of it, but you know, maybe it's some dark government contract for mass surveillance that we don't know about. Like maybe 2 years ago, when they started partnering the government, they said, look, this is the way this is going to go. There's no
Right.
way to tell that there's like, is there nobody in the government like us? There's seven of us that found each other randomly through similar interests. Like, you're telling me there's nobody from OpenAI that took like a lifetime and witness protection and is leaking stuff? Like, OpenAI leaks their own stuff. They're like, as soon as the email went out, we leaked it because we know that it was going to get leaked. So I don't know,
You
man.
know, leaking strategy has become kind of a normalcy in today's world. Um, I'm not. I'm starting to begin to think that leaking is just the new marketing ploy. It's like I must have missed like a tape or a seminar or something where they were like, "This is our new marketing scheme, and this is how we're gonna get the masses in. You just got to pretend that you leaked it, and then people want it." Um, because usually they do press releases. You don't really see press releases or anything like that anymore. You just see, "Oh, this got leaked." It's like immediately people click. But one thing I did want to mention on John's point there, he was mentioning as far as environmental impact. I can definitely attest to that myself because in my area, right where I live, I live here in the country. However, there is a town. I'm part of this town. It's right down the road from me, and it's about 3 miles is where it kind of starts. And that's where 3.5 miles from me they're trying to put in a data center
Hmm.
and a data center park, and this is taking over like 300 some acres or something like that, right?
Yeah, you'll probably
It's
hear the
supposed to,
noise.
yeah, it's supposed to be like they're trying to put in, I think, close to 20 buildings. So yeah, it's definitely, and I was the type when somebody was like, yeah, you should check this out, go to the meetings, this and that, vote for no and blah 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 blah. And I was like, listen, I said, I'm the last person you want there. I said, because I'm all pro AI, and it'd be very hypocritical of me to go down there and say this and that when I'm over here probably the most power user in a 60-mile radius.
Yeah,
So
I don't know. I'm still gonna go protest. It's like, nah, I don't know.
but then I found out exactly where they were putting it, and I looked it on the map, and I was like, "That's 3.5 miles away." I said, "I'm gonna be able to hear that." I said, "Not in my fucking backyard."
Yeah, right. Figure out somewhere. I mean, maybe we'll see the data centers go into space. It's hard to tell. I wanted to give
Yeah.
Barry a chance to chime in if he wanted to. I know you've been kind of quiet, and then we're at about 50 minutes, so I want to take the last 10 minutes kind of promote the Nexus Network. You guys could talk about what you've been building, and I'm gonna just do a quick screen share of like what channels we have and stuff. That sound cool?
Hmm.
I mean, we'll
Sounds
stop
good.
recording, but we could all still chill and keep the conversation going. Henry, what are you building?
Well, right now I'm taking a break from just like updating my agent, my architecture, and stuff like that. I usually take a day out the week just to not vibe code, but like just do something that can make me feel productive, but yet have fun. So I'm taking apart my daughter's little Me Bot or Miko Bot. Got it from Amazon. It's just a little too childish. The AI is too restrictive. You can't really do much on it, and it's illegal to reflash the firmware on it. So that's why I took out the brain here. But it's not illegal to use the chassis or the chassis. So I'm taking this apart so I can try to control it with this Arduino here. I'm familiar with how to operate and use it. I didn't take years to learn the language, but AI does. So I know how to navigate through the ecosystem, and AI can just execute it for me. So I'm gonna connect this Arduino Q4. It's both a Linux and a like Arduino, where it's just raw data and analog data. It knows like the inputs and outputs of switches and motors, but it also has a Linux brain on one side. So I'm gonna connect that to the chassis and see if I can control it with my Arduino, and maybe if I can hook it up through Wi-Fi, put Gemini on it, and now Gemini has a whole body it can control with a robot.
Jesus.
Nice.
Nice,
Mm.
man. And again, he is not boosting the firmware.
No, no,
Josh,
it's illegal. Yeah.
Josh, you got anything cool going on? And Henry, do you want to
Um,
drop your social or anything where they can
mm,
find you? Sorry, drop your website
No,
at the
sure.
very least.
I mean, yeah, HenryAlfonso.com, Henry with a I, HenryAlfonso, HenryAlfonso.com. I'm on LinkedIn as well. Yeah.
Cool, man. Josh, we're going down the
I'm
line.
I'm kind of taking a day off. I'm now laying here with my dog.
You want to plug your dojo or?
Oh, yeah, I can go to dojomojo.pro. I'm working on a multi um a essentially a back end and front end for dojo management studios to manage our students and instructors and handle business a little bit more efficiently.
That's dope. That's dope. John, you're up.
Yeah, bts-u.com or beyondthestageuniverse.com. We were talking about domains earlier. I didn't want emails to have to be so long, so I also got bts-u.
That's dope.
Uh, and that's, like I said, it's about connecting and positioning artists and business owners to each other so they can effectively collaborate, and opportunities can be seized, education and growth can be streamlined, and centralized. And speaking of centralized, it's in context. This is an alternative social media platform, right? This is about decentralizing it. It's so many artists post events. Next thing you know, you're seeing a flyer from 5 days ago because the algorithm says this is now worth showing to you rather than chronological. So it's really about them being able to control their feed with filter, rather than the algorithm controlling their feed for them. And I actually
Fire.
came here today hoping to get some help with the bot agents plugins and helping get to the point and learning from you guys, some security specialists, some best practices, and maybe have some hand holding after this little powwow.
Yeah, dude, you're in the right spot. Super dope. All right, that leaves Coach Barry. What you got?
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
I shared my I'm on my phone, but I shared my screen. I hope y'all can see it. But this is what I'm building on, what I'm working on outside of children agents, but agentic CRMs for small businesses. That essentially a lead generation type of ordeal, like a lead generator CRM dashboard for five verticals: estheticians, stylists, hairstylists, photographers, create those six verticals and realtors. Basically, it's a they get a dashboard to handle their business and things like that. Now I'm kind of like tailored towards um, that industry. Like for example, like the creator want to have like a social studio where they can actually make content through um, like backend sources like AI, like free open source sources. So uh, yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing right now, trying to get this out.
It looks
Sick.
beautiful so far, man. Super
It
dope.
looks so good.
It
I've
looks cool.
got
But
client area. I can't wait to dive deeper on that project with you. I know that's what we talked about before life started hitting me hard, as I talked about before. But Barry, I came here today specifically to meet up with you and Tony, and I'm glad that the rest of the gang showed up for this. But I really wanted to get with you guys today and talk agents, talk about these clients that I have in my portfolio, and how we can build agents and create, something that allows sort of a synergy between, our states and our skill sets.
Yeah, man, we'll be around for it. I just cleared my schedule. I'll probably be editing while we do it, but Buddha, before we land the plane, what you got?
So I'm pretty much in day zero of moving back to Michigan. So I'm like, I canvassed the nearest 50 small businesses around me, and I'm just about to kind of just see what they need. So
That's
That's
crazy,
that's what I'm
man.
doing at this
it,
moment.
bro.
I,
That's what
I,
it's.
I ranked and organized them by like, proximity to my residence. So I'm just, yeah,
The
just throwing out fishing lines.
the evil genius. That's awesome, man.
Buddha, no. Today's day one. Yesterday was day zero. You said you was in the U-Haul heading to the spot yesterday, so that counts as day
Okay.
zero.
I just wanted to say day
Day
zero.
one.
Nah, man.
Don't
Yep.
be lying to us now.
That's dope. I love the Codex hoodie, by the way. Oh, that's crazy. I did
Yeah,
not
I'm,
wear
I'm
my
glad
Codex hat. I should have wore my Codex hat. Next one.
I'm glad you're jumping on the ball out there, man. Getting that ball rolling out there. Best of luck to you.
Super dope.
Thank you.
So anyone interested, I'm gonna try to keep this at exactly 1 hour, no cuts. We got 4 minutes left. What we share in the Nexus Network is, oh, I don't want to join another voice channel. We have a general chat. The welcome and rules, we're kind of vibe coding the rules as we go. And announcements will have stuff that's going on with the server. But we have a spot where we have agents hooked up into the Discord. There's a creative zone where we share all sorts of stuffs. Leaks is probably the most popular, where each of the major players in AI have a whole list, and our CEO Alex, who is unfortunately with a client right now, drops to the minute leaks. We do collab and chat for AI business through here, and we also do just hanging out. Every one of these gentlemen I care about, it's bond building as well. We're building things together. We're in a new frontier and we don't know what's going to happen. So we care just as much about what's going on in Buddha's life as what he's building. So if you're interested in checking us out, there is no public link. Probably going to drop this and just have you DM one of us. You can find me at To the Designer. I am a owner of a creative agency. I'm blending some AI with my stuff, but the main thing in my business is an AI agent that helps me manage communication, brainstorm ideas, write proposals, send invoices. Almost every administrative task I've outsourced to AI, and now it's a matter of thinking of token economy and how much it's going to cost, constantly optimizing that. I'm working and promoting a celebrity casino night that's going to be, I believe, September 17th, 2026 at the Woodstone Lodge in Danielsville, Pennsylvania. The celebrity list is not announced yet, but the press release is out and the venue is locked in. We're also currently in the midst, at the time of recording this, of the Heart and Hustle campaign through Miller Keystone. We're partnered with Andre Williams, former running back of the NFL Giants, the New York Giants in the NFL. It's been a long hour of talking, but we're promoting blood donation primarily amongst athletes and promoting the regeneration factor of getting red blood cells out and your body producing brand new ones. But that's all sort of stuff we got. We got 1 minute to hit 1 hour exactly. Anybody got any closing thoughts, ideas for the next episode?
I'll just say real quick, just to kind of piggyback off of that thing, the part you touched on. This is a network of guys and some gals as well. Just guys in the chat right now, but there's some young ladies in here who are very brilliant and willing to learn as well in this network. And it's like you said, we're all over the country learning together on a new frontier. but we're all humans here. You know, when we're learning how to use these technologies to be better at being humans, to be more prepared and more sound and more grounded in a technological age together. So, and I just want to thank you guys, you know, especially when I first joined the network, you know, for all the things that you did to, you know, to not just educate me, but to help me, you know, carry the weight, you know, and the vulnerabilities that you shared with me, you know, about your lives to make me feel like we were forming a real community, not just, you know, a technical learning group. So,
Fire,
thank
man.
you.
Sweet. This is Nexus Network signing off. Thank you for listening.